Right, I'm sitting here with Colin Nathan. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Good and you, man. Yeah, good to see you again. It's been a while, Hayden.
Yeah.
Last time we did an interview, I was in Cape Town. About 2-3 weeks ago, I think. Yeah, good to see you. Looking good and, you know.
Trimming down, maybe. I don't know. Every time we're commenting on my weight, every video, I don't know. Yeah, but look, we're in your new ring. Oh no, same gym, new ring.
Same gym, new ring, new beginnings. Well, no, the beginning started at the beginning of the year with Boxing 5. But yeah, just big shout out to Broad Gear. I mean, what a fantastic ring. They've redone it, revamped it, more steel frames underneath, made it more solid. And they dressed the ring beautifully, so big shout out to them, yeah.
And to many great memories of sparring that's going to take place in this ring in the years to come.
Yeah, I mean, the ring next door is like, what, 24 years old? Jeez. 23 years old.
Legend.
Nearly 24 years old, yeah, it's crazy. So Hotbox has been going, next year's 24 years, we've been going 23 years, it's crazy. I don't know where the time's gone, actually, to be honest with you, it's been crazy.
24 years, what's your highlight?
No, 23 years. 23
years, what's your highlight? No, that's
I mean, just changing lives, man. Just making champions and just, making my mark in South African boxing. There have been so many highlights, so many upset wins. Obviously the legitimate world championships that we've won, and obviously also the smaller versions of the world title that we've won over the years. Just been incredible, and producing world-class athletes. I mean, there have been a few highlight moments. To Gucci with Heiki in Japan, obviously, that was massive. Last year with my 9-minute speech with Subinati. There have been some amazing moments, and then obviously now on the 18th of September there's going to be another amazing moment. So I'm just looking forward to all of that, and obviously that's the next focus. We start to gear up for that fight,
Yeah.
Taraji and Butler.
Yeah, we're gearing up for the big fight. It doesn't get bigger than that, so all the belts, and again another opportunity to go for the Ring Magazine title.
Yeah, I mean I want another Ring Magazine.
You're a bit greedy.
It's not greedy. It's just I have dreams and aspirations, and I think this win's going to really solidify Heiki's position in South African boxing and African boxing. Even though I already think he's a legend. And then obviously I also have dreams and aspirations for Subinati. We've got some good news coming up soon. It's going to be a big announcement coming up soon, and then obviously we'd like to unify as well for the WBO vision with him. So one step at a time. But yeah, just obviously there's a lot of good positive things happening with No Doubt Management and Boxing 5 and Team Hotbox, and obviously that far outweighs the stuff that's going on behind the scenes, or rather not behind the scenes, but with South African boxing at the moment.
Let's put focus on No Doubt Management and Boxing 5, just because it's something that a lot of the other promoters out there are not doing. They're not innovating. They're not putting on tournaments on a regular basis. I mean, how do you see the landscape of Boxing 5 and then obviously the rest of South Africa?
Yeah, I mean, listen. I mean, I think our structure is really good. My company is a partner to Boxing 5, so I'm licensed as a manager in South African boxing. I'm not allowed to dual license, and I'm also not allowed to be a director of a promotional company. But that doesn't exclude a management company being in partnership with a promotion. So that's pretty much how it formed. And obviously I've got a lot of good, solid, world-class operators and fighters in my gym, and a lot of developing young stars that are coming through. So when Larry and Riaz actually sat me down and they approached me, obviously remember I got involved in the Duma Lamati, and Larry said to me, look, we want to start promoting again, and we want you to be our partner. They would obviously need the content and the good fighters, and that's where No Doubt Management came into it. With regards to the rest of the country in terms of boxing, I mean, we've had 12 cancellations this year. It's just not looking good for South African boxing at the moment. I mean, I want to sit here and be positive, and I think it is going to change. I think the pendulum always swings. But, there's been a lot of negativity in the press, and there's been a lot of negativity with regards to certain things regarding the administration of boxing in the country. Hopefully that's going to change for the positive and for the better. And listen, I love boxing with all my heart, and the people who suffer the most with these cancellations are the fighters. So forget about everything else. Forget about people who like me, who don't like me, and I don't like them, or that I like them. We've got to think about the athlete first, and I think that is the focus of what needs to be done to actually fix South African boxing. Is to think about the fighter and the athlete first. and and just obviously adhere to all the rules and policies and that govern the act.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of regions outside of Gauteng struggling to put on boxing tournaments lately. I mean, if you're not in Gauteng at the moment, it's really rare that you're getting a fight. What's your take on that situation?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I can't point fingers. I think promoters actively have to go out into the private sector as well. I think that's a big factor to consider. They have to go into the private sector, and they can't just rely on government funding. Private sector, phone up people ask them to get involved and get behind boxing, see if they can fund the shows. It doesn't have to be on broadcast. I mean, Boxing 5 has been very innovative with Vision View, our broadcast production partner, and we're streaming the fights and they're going around the world, the feeders, that is, and just be productive and be proactive and think out the block. I think that's the most important thing right now, is that if you can be creative and think laterally in terms of how you can get your content and fighters out there, I think that's the key to fixing one of the problems that we have in the country at the moment.
I think with such a vast stable that you do have in the gym, and obviously other gyms that are also represented by Boxing 5, it's a difficult to be solely responsible for the whole of South Africa to sort of fit them into fights. Yeah,
well, of course. I mean, I can't start singing like Michael Jackson, heal the world, and make it a better place. But I mean, these are just a few of the ideas that I'm, proposing to you and to whoever's going to watch this interview. But I mean, ideally, if I could save South African boxing, I mean, if I can do my bit, which I'm doing, small bits, that's what I want to do. So I just think more needs to be done. I think people need to be creative. They need to think out the box. I mean, like, if you think back to when we were during the pandemic and how you and I were doing like podcasts, just to thinking out the box, and we were like really hustling for boxing ideas and content. I mean, why can't we keep hustling? Why can't we keep thinking of new ways to market the sport and get new sponsors on board? I mean, if you think about it, like, look what's going on with Jake Paul. Like, whether or not he's chosen a boxing ring to market the sport. So the purists, like, I would think, that's not really boxing, but by the same token, it brings a new audience into the mix. It brings a younger generation, and it also creates eyeballs to the sport of boxing. So as much as I can cringe about the actual fighting content of the athletes, I'm happy that they've chosen a boxing ring. So it markets my sport for the better.
I gotta say, I got a lot of comments on the last post I made about Jake Paul. He gets more likes that post than a normal boxer would. And that leads me to my next question. Would you ever train a celebrity boxer? The answer is yes, isn't it?
Well, right now, no, I can't. I'm just too committed with other events coming up. But I mean, if it's for charity and, never say never. The one thing I've realized in boxing, right, is never say never. Never say never.
Never say never. And obviously, if it's a fight against Jake Paul, it's very lucrative. You can't turn that down, surely.
You want to fight Jake Paul?
I'd get knocked out for the amount of money they get.
Not if I'm in your corner.
I've got a chance.
You've always got a chance. Let me tell you something about boxing, right? It's like when someone once asked me, does McGregor have a chance against Mayweather? Well, of course he's got a chance. But the chance wasn't big enough for him to win. And the chance isn't big enough for you to beat Jake Paul. How much are you weighing at the moment?
It's about Jake Paul's weight. No, I'm lighter than him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Be competitive for the start of the bell, maybe.
All right. So hopefully it's a 3-round fight, then you can give me a 9-minute speech.
For right off the offset. Yeah. Okay, let's keep dreaming.
All right, back to business. The rest of your stable, what's happening with them? Because I know right now, as I said before, the climate of South African boxing is really difficult. What else is happening?
Yeah, it really is difficult at the moment. And like I'm saying, and again, I don't want to sound like a stuck record. Hopefully it gets better. We've got Ruan Visser, who's coming out of retirement, and after his ban, he wants to come back. He came to see me. He's already started in the gym. Every gym needs a heavyweight.
Yeah.
Lovely guy. Ruben's with him, his brother as well, and we want to see where this goes. We'll just get them back in and getting him through his paces. He's weighing a lot at the moment. But I think he could be quite impactful in South African heavyweight boxing. So let's see how that goes. Heki's deep in camp at the moment. Sivanati, we're going to be making an announcement very, very soon.
Yeah.
Lorata's going to be back in the fold as well after his recent comeback win. He's going to be moving into a good position in the IBF in the ratings, and just obviously keeping him busy. Head is now number 1 in the world in the IBF. We're looking at bringing her out in the first 2 weeks of October just to keep busy. And then after that, I'm going to press off for Natasha Jonas, who's managed by a good friend of mine, Michael Tamara. So there's lots of exciting things on the horizon. And then with regards to the developing kids, Katlejo Kanisi is showing a lot of promise. Really, really is. Caden Juta is going to be a star, as you know. He's going to be fighting at the next event as well for Boxing 5. Ishmael Khadi, what a great win against Gerald Tights. It's really showed a lot of promise. I've got Abdulaziz Kanu fighting for the South African Championship in Cape Town towards the end of this month, which I'm going to be going down for. It's a great chance for him to become South African champion. I'm just trying to think. Have I left anyone else? Josh Feldman. Unlucky getting bitten by a spider, landing up in hospital for 2 nights at the Links Field. Just crazy. He's going to be making his debut eventually, please God, at the next event. And again, we earmark for the first 2 weeks of October. Sequence is going to be fighting again. We're going to keep busy fights. We're looking breaking him into the top 10 of the WBO and the IBF world ratings. So there's a lot of good activity in the gym. There's just a lot of good activity around the company as well, and Boxing 5 and our management. And I just want to say a big shout out to Riaz and Larry. They're a breath of fresh air. We jump on conference calls literally daily, and we're just sparking ideas, and a lot of the ideas we're actually implementing. Riaz and Larry have started this amateur program, it's great. We started doing it at the Boxing 5 events. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to be infiltrating a different province very soon. I think maybe that's an interview that you and Larry and Riaz need to have. But there's just a lot of progression, into the right direction, and like I'm saying now, just obviously, like we're going through a dip at the moment, but hopefully, I'm saying January we're going through a dip, but hopefully things turn.
All right, I think you're going through all the fighters, and I just remembered also DJ Creel as well in the mix, the flyweight, light flyweight. So where are we sitting with that?
So he missed weight. We had this discussion on the last interview you and I had. He is going to be fighting as a flyweight. He's already back in the mix, working with Scott's his strength and conditioning coach, to get his weight sorted. He realizes his last 2 performances were flat. By his own admission, he had agreed to that and say, Colin, you're right. And I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you and say it was world-class performance, because it wasn't. There were signs of his brilliance, of his former self. And I think the weight issue is the biggest issue with DJ right now. So in terms of talent and ability, and youth is on his side, I think once he gets that under control, which I think he is busy in the process of getting that right, I think we've got a world-class flyweight. And I think to obviously get him back out again before the end of the year, and then get him in the ratings and get him into a title shot.
Yeah. Obviously, DJ.
And the other thing was, he tore ligaments in his hand and in his ankle. I mean, his ankle was the size of a tennis ball on the side of his ankle the very next day, which he never told me about. He told me about his hand was giving him problems. So big respect and credit for him, like that warrior spirit, just sucking it up and biting down hard on the gum shield and getting the win.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people actually knew that information, afterwards, because it wasn't shared publicly. But I mean, there was a reality. He got an injury in the middle of the fight.
Yeah, listen, he won the fight. There's no question. I thought he was a clear winner, but hampered, and I think his body was, reacting to him trying to cut the weight. So once that's, in check, which I believe it is now, I'm very confident that we've got a world-class flyweight on our hands with DJ, and get him in contention for a world top title.
All right, and let's. We're probably going to catch up before Heki's fights again, but just a last word on Heki Butler. He's coming along really well.
Yeah, training camp, we haven't started sparring. It's 5 weeks and 6 days out now. So, I hope it wasn't someone important. So, we're going to start sparring next week. We've got great sparring. Sivanati Nojing is back as well. He's going to be helping him. We're now basically just ironing out the game plan, which I'm very excited about. I love this kind of challenge. And I also love the fact that we massive underdogs, like massive underdogs.
That's the best position.
That's the deal, yeah. So just obviously very excited about that, and it's kind of at the back of my mind. And I'm always in my office watching fight footage. But listen, I'm not going to bullshit you. We've got a very hard fight. It's going to be hard, very hard. But I think I've got the right guy, the right chess piece to create checkmates on the 18th of September and another world champion.
All right, fantastic. I'll leave it there. Colin, do you have anything else you want to say?
No, just big shout out to you, and you're doing a great job. And let's stay positive. There's been a lot of negativity in the press, and just obviously there's been some bizarre decisions of late, and shows being cancelled at weigh-ins and crazy stuff in boxing. But that's controversy, I guess, is kind of one of the lifelines of boxing. But hopefully the controversy just subsides, and we can start focusing on the positive and get guys moving, get guys fighting. Without fighters, I wouldn't be sitting in this ring doing an interview with you. So they are the most important asset, and everyone else actually needs to sit up and take notice of that. Stop protecting everyone else, and stop doing this and stop doing that. Let's stop protecting the fighters. And fighters are the main people.
100%. Thank you very much, Colin Nathan.
Shot, man. Shot.